One is considered the best super middleweight in the world, and he wants to keep it that way. The other had his moment of glory, and he wants it back. From the industrial city of Sheffield, England, comes one of boxing's more familiar yet tantalizing tales. Two longtime friends, now hostile adversaries. Tonight, WBO champion Joe Calzaghe and ex-champ Richie Woodall take their local rivalry to the world stage. Next on Showtime Championship Boxing. Showtime's two-city European tour concludes tonight here in the blue-collar city of Sheffield, England. Located 160 miles northwest of London in north-central England, Sheffield is a major steel manufacturing center and coal mining region that has also contributed mightily to the world of entertainment, producing the likes of singing legend Joe Cocker and actor Michael Palin of Monty Python fame, among others. It's also the locale for the Full Monty. Tonight, the Sheffield Arena plays host to the world of boxing with a doubleheader on tap. In our main event, it's the Battle of Britain, as local favorites Joe Calzaghe and Richie Woodall put their longtime friendship aside to square off for the WBO super middleweight crown. And in our co-feature, you'll see WBO junior lightweight champ Acelino Freitas try to keep his perfect knockout record intact in an over-the-weight non-title fight against Daniel Alicea. Welcome to the Sheffield Arena, one of several sports venues in a sports-mad town. Soccer took center stage early this afternoon as Sheffield United and Sheffield Wednesday played to a 1-1 tie, Sheffield's version of the Subway Series. Tonight, boxing is the attraction, 6,000 to 8,000 expected. The fight fans here have followed the careers of such native sons as Prince Nassim Hamed and Harold Graham. This evening, they're geared up for some more hometown flavor. Hello again, everybody. Steve Albert ringside from England, where there has been no shortage of British royalty at the 168-pound weight limit over the past decade. In fact, the Brits have had more champions in only the 118-pound division. Their impressive presence in a division that debuted only in 1984 began with the flamboyant Chris Eubank. He held the WBO version through 15 successful defenses spanning 3.5 years. The Dark Destroyer Nigel Benn wore the WBC crown through 10 successful defenses. Robin Reed reclaimed the WBC title for Britain in late '96, holding it for 14 months. Tonight, defending champ Joe Calzaghe makes his 7th defense of the belt, which he won just over 3 years ago. His challenger this evening, Richie Woodall, held the WBC version since early '98, but the title unification match with Joe Calzaghe evaporated when Woodall lost to Marcus Meyer. Glenn Catley borrowed the WBC belt for less than 120 days. And no matter what happens here tonight, there will still be at least one British champion at 168. And with that, let me bring on my ringside partner, former world champion Bobby Ches. And Bobby, an intriguing situation here. Calzaghe and Woodall are both friends outside the ring. Is this something that could pose problems, or is it something that a fighter can just sort of turn on and off once the bell sounds?
Steve, trust me, friends outside the ring, maybe, and certainly they can be. But once we set foot inside that ring, there are no friends. For the 3 minutes in between those rest bells, what they do to each other will not constitute as a friendly act. Titles, championships, money, and sports history hangs in the balance. There won't be anything friendly going on in this ring tonight. All
right, we shall see what happens a little bit later in our main event. Let's take a look backstage into the dressing room of the challenger, and that, of course, is 32-year-old Richie Woodall from Telford, England, 26-2 with 16 knockouts. Extremely psyched for this matchup that has been in the works for years, and now an opportunity to reclaim his world champion status. Bobby, what are this guy's major assets in the ring?
Well, Steve, he's tall, a good rangy jab when he uses it, and he has not a bad right hand when he throws it, but he's very, very hard to hit. He's elusive. He's a good boxer from the outside, but sometimes that lends to a slow fight and an awkward fight. But from the outside, he is very effective.
Highly motivated, feeling that this is his last shot at the title. And the champion, making his arrival, 28-year-old Joe Calzaghe, 29-0, 24 KOs. Calzaghe, a southpaw from Newbridge, South Wales, won the vacant title in stirring fashion from an aging Chris Eubank in late '97. Bobby, where would you rate him among the current 168-pound champions?
Well, right now, Steve, all the super middleweight champions are outside the U.S. Gerard Otke from Europe, and now the newly crowned Hilton from Canada. And pretty much it's a proving ground for all these champions. None have been there long enough to really tell what they have. So far, who has shown the most is this man right here, Joe Calzaghe. I think right now he ranks as the man to beat at 168.
Tremendous incentive. A win tonight sets up the possibility of a big money fight with light heavyweight champion Roy Jones Jr. Once again, we'd like to invite you Showtime subscribers with internet access to log on to show.com, where you can score tonight's fights online. Your round-by-round vote will instantly update the webpage, and the final results will be displayed there as well. Online scoring will not influence the outcome of the fight and is only available to viewers of our East Coast feed. So to score tonight's fights online and learn more about upcoming Showtime boxing events, log on to show.com. Once again, the web address is sho.com. Let's get to it. We close in on our first bout as undefeated. Acelino Freitas puts his perfect knockout record on the line against Daniel Alicea. Freitas 27-0 with 27 KOs. And Bobby, Acelino Freitas has been compared to a young Roberto Duran. Very, very exciting fighter. Exceptional power and speed. How would you rate his overall skills in the ring?
Well, you know, to be compared to a young Roberto Duran is quite a statement, and that would lead to even greater expectations. I think Roberto Duran, who has also demonstrated great power early in his career, might have demonstrated just a little more boxing ability defensively as well as offensively, but 27-0 with 27 knockouts, this man makes a statement. He's a force to be reckoned with.
Acelino Freitas has knocked out every opponent he has ever faced. He's the only current champion with a perfect knockout record. And Bobby, how would you assess his level or quality of opposition?
Well, for starters, Steve, he's a world champion, so he knocked out the world champion, the former world champion as well. And he's knocked out a couple of top 10 contenders. But the top 10 contenders, as well as that champion, Steve, were not really proven commodities. What he needs to do is step up against the Casamayor or one of the other champions or someone who's been there and has paid their dues and established himself. Then we'll see what he's got. 2001, he gets it done.
All right, Bobby, it's Acelino Freitas versus Daniel Alicea. The ring walks straight ahead.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are ready for a 12-round, very special attraction coming your way. Prepare to welcome the boxers as they make their way to the ring. First, we introduce the tough competitor from Puerto Rico, introducing Daniel Alicea.
A very tough Daniel Alicea, off a controversial 10-round decision loss to Lamar Murphy, took this fight on 2 weeks' notice. Lewis Wood was signed to fight, but pulled out late with an injury. It was a scramble to get Alicea, and whether it's for a belt or not, this was the best fight that could be made based on others refusing to fight Freitas or seeking too much money or just unavailable or not acceptable. Alicea, to his credit, stepped up. In '96, he was the first to drop Prince Nassim Hamed from right here in Sheffield. Alicea's lone title shot, it came in round one, but Alicea was then stopped in the second. Bobby, what kind of challenge does Alicea pose to an explosive puncher like Freitas?
We know, Steve, the only common fighter they've had between the two, they both knocked out. Alicea knocked him out at 9. Freitas an 8, so he's shown some power, shown that he can get the job done even late. But the 2 times he stepped up, most notably against Prince Nazim Ahmed, even though he dropped Nazim, he got knocked out in just 2 rounds. Freitas has Nazim-type power. I don't expect a big threat, although my trainer Tommy Parks is working his corner, and it could be a serious improvement.
As we segue to the keys to victory.
Well, for Alicea and Freitas, it's simple. Alicea has to box smart from the outside. He has to make Freitas miss, and also he has to counterpunch effectively if he's going to win this. He has no choice but to stay there.
So Daniel Alicea makes his home these days in Newark, New Jersey, originally from Santurce, Puerto Rico.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, making his way to the ring, here is the knockout artist from Brazil, introducing Acelino Freitas.
Suddenly, we feel like we're not in Sheffield, but at Club Med. A theatrical entrance by Acelino Freitas from Brazil, where he is highly regarded, once drew 50,000. He won the WBO junior lightweight title with a first-round knockout of Anatoly Alexandrov, who was left unconscious for 5 minutes before being revived. 5 successful defenses, including a stirring 8th-round TKO over England's Barry Jones, in which Freitas scored 6 knockdowns. Jones had never been knocked down prior to that fight. He comes off a 9th-round stoppage of an awkward, rugged, and smart Carlos Rios in September. Bobby, an aggressive, very offensive-minded power puncher, one of the top young fighters to come out of South America. Does he have the potential, though, to become a legit superstar?
Well, Steve, all superstars get to be superstars, not only by winning, and winning convincingly, which he has, 27 wins, 27 knockouts, but by beating other stars and superstars. He hasn't really faced any of the stars or superstars in this division. What he needs to do, that would be the 3rd leg of what he needs to do. He's winning impressively. Now he's got to beat some real people.
And endearing himself to the fans by heading some soccer balls into the crowd. Keys to victory, Bobby.
Freitas, no stranger to power. What he wants to do here is force the pace of the fight, then work Alicea's body, because he has that great power, and land those body shots. They are telling. We've seen Alicea not make it against the power of Nazim. The power of Freitas is probably every bit as good.
Tail of the tape for this over-the-weight affair. Freitas at 25. 3 years younger than Alicea. The slight 1.5-inch height advantage for Alicea, 3-inch reach advantage for Freitas. At yesterday's weigh-in, Freitas 133, Alicea 130.5. Their weights tonight: Freitas 143, Alicea 137.5. Key rules for this 12-round non-title fight: the referee will score the fight. No judges here in England for a non-title affair. No standing 8 count, no 3 knockdown rule. A fighter cannot be saved by the bell except in the last round. There's no accidental foul rule. If a fighter can't continue, he loses. So here at the Sheffield Arena, getting ready for Acelino Freitas versus Daniel Alicea. The formal introductions from our ring announcer. Let's go to the always dapper Jimmy Lennon Jr.
Ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome to the Sheffield Arena here in Sheffield, England, as we present a special attraction coming away, brought to you by Frank Warren Sports Network and Arthur Palulo's Banner Promotions in association with Showtime Championship Boxing, as sponsored by Red Square. This bout coming away is sanctioned by the British Boxing Board of Control. The steward in charge is Lord Brooks of Tremorfa. Introducing to you the 3rd man of the ring, the referee in charge, and the sole judge of this contest from Leeds, England, Mickey Van. All right, fans, here we go. 12 rounds of boxing for a junior lightweight, also known as super featherweight special attraction. Introducing to you first on my left, fighting out of the red corner, entering the ring wearing black trunks with gold trim. He hails from Santurce, Canteras, Puerto Rico, by way of New York City. He weighed in at 9 stone, 4.5 pounds, or 130.5 U.S. pounds, with a record of 24 wins, 3 losses, and 1 draw. He has 19 wins coming by way of knockout. Introducing Daniel Alicea. ring on my right, fighting out of the blue corner, this 12-round non-title attraction, wearing white trunks, hailing from Salvador, Brazil. He weighed in at 9 stone 7 pounds, or 133 US pounds. As boxing's only world champion with a perfect knockout record, his ring campaign includes 27 wins, no losses, all 27 wins coming by way of knockout. Introducing the explosive, undefeated WBO junior lightweight champion of the world, introducing Acelino Freitas. Once again, Mickey Van is our referee in charge now to give instructions. 12 rounds of boxing schedule.
Freitas, you both had your instructions in the dressing room. Shake hands, go by to your corners. Good luck. Shake hands. Well done.
Originally, this was a championship fight, but under the new Ali bill, since Alicea had fallen out of title contention, losing his last fight, dropping for the ratings, it was changed to a non-title fight. Confident but not cocky is Acelino Freitas. Says it's not important to maintain that perfect knockout record, just to keep winning. A no-frills fighter. He is all about power. Big right and a beautiful left hook. Alicea, upright, stylish boxer with a good right, long and rangy, as you can see. Always coming forward, very busy, throws a lot, mixes his punches up very well. His chin, though, and resolve should be tested in a big way this evening. He will need to move and jab to avoid Freitas' power. The question, can he out-hustle and outwork the champion? Most folks here feel he cannot. Here we go, and Alicea comes out bombing with a left hook and misses wildly.
What he looked to do right there, Steve, was come out and get a little respect, get his pound of flesh early.
Freitas, first and foremost, told us he's looking to jump on Alicea and end it early. He made a big point of wanting to show his power. Freitas was extended into the 9th, his last fight, against a tough, durable warrior, Carlos Rios. He seemed to be getting fatigued, although he claimed stamina was not an issue and that he felt strong.
Alicea is trying to establish the jab. You can see him working it, stuffing it, but he's not running and he's not moving that much from the outside. He believes he can maybe bang with Freitas.
Freitas in the white trunks did emphasize his desire to end this fight fast, but he said he's prepared to go all out. Well, he may not have to.
It was a beautiful right hand. He slipped a jab by Alicea and took a right hand over the top. Picture perfect.
And he is under wobbly conditions. It's over. It's over here in the first round. Mickey Van has stopped the fight. Alicea is very upset. He really was wobbly, but he disputes this judgment call by the referee. And now the folks in Alicea's team also arguing with the referee.
Part of the problem, Steve, when he got up, he wobbled a little bit. What he did was he leaned back into the ropes as if to allow the ropes to hold him up. Referee sees that, he's going to stop it.
Well, Freitas came in saying he wanted to make a statement. You get the feeling he has. But Alicea's people and Alicea himself very, very distraught over what has happened. And Acelino Freitas knocks out Daniel Alicea in the first round, early in the first round. The unofficial time, 101. They'll call it a TKO, but a heavy right hand, and Alicea had his night ended early. There's the belt around the waist of Acelino Freitas, who made quick work of Daniel Alicea, and he is still walking around in stunned disbelief. Very frustrated indeed. He took this fight on very short notice, just 2 weeks, and here's something you don't see every day, Bobby. The champion is on a cell phone. You think he's talking to his homeland, Brazil?
No, he's talking to somebody important to him. I'm sure his family, telling him everything's okay. I'm okay, I'm still a champion, and it didn't go long.
So Acelino Freitas, in explosive fashion, living up to his billing and expectations, remains undefeated, maintains his perfect knockout record, now 28-0 with 28 knockouts, but it was not a title defense. And Freitas telling us title unification means more to him than fighting, say, Prince Nassim Hamed, who's been reportedly offered $5 to $6 million by that man on the tux, Frank Warren, to fight Acelino Freitas, the promoter. Freitas said recently he wanted WBC champ Floyd Mayweather first, but Mayweather is scheduled to fight Diego Corrales, the former champ. How about Freitas versus Casamayor, then the winner of that fight to beat the winner of Corrales-Mayweather?
That would be a terrific round robin. I think right now Diego Corrales, for my money, is still the best of the bunch, but they're stepping up and they're putting their money where their mouth is. He's fighting Mayweather. That's going to be a great fight with Corrales.
Weight has been a constant battle, though, for Acelino Freitas. He started out as a lightweight, came down to junior lightweight at 130. As mentioned earlier, he did gain 10 pounds from yesterday's weigh-in up until tonight.
Technically, right now, he's a small welterweight, over 140. He's over super lightweight or junior welterweight.
Right. All right, we're just about set for the official word from our ring announcer, Jimmy Lennon Jr.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have the time of 1 minute, 1 second in round number 1. Our referee in charge, Mickey Van, stops the contest. The winner now improving his record to 28-0 with 28 knockouts. The WBO Junior Lightweight World Champion, Acelino Popo Freitas.
Acelino Freitas from Brazil, victorious for the 28th time with no defeats, 28 knockouts. Raises his arms in victory to this crowd here in Sheffield, England. A vicious knockout over Daniel Alicea.
All right, you're going to watch. Now, Alicea comes forward. He puts a little bit of a lazy jab out here. Freitas takes his head, ducks to the side, and fires a right hand right over the top, and it is lights out. Here comes a little lazy jab, ducks with the right hand, and look at the power. He catapulted that right hand into Alicea's side of Alicea's head and jaw, and Alicea takes off in the other direction very quickly. Here he misses a hook. Here comes the lazy jab. Bang. Alicea goes down hard. There's a last look at it. You can see the power, and I don't think Alicea ever saw it. The champion ducked that jab beautifully, slipped it, and coincidentally and ironically, that is a move that Tommy Parks used to teach me all the time. Slip the jab to the right, come over the top with the right hand, and it was used on his fighter.
So Acelino Freitas, in emphatic fashion, as Bobby put it so aptly, turning out the lights on Daniel Alicea in the very first round, about a minute in. Showtime Championship Boxing kicks off the new year on January the 6th as featherweight silver medalist Ricardo Rocky Juarez and super middleweight Jeff Lacey, as well as unbeaten 17-year-old super lightweight rising star Juan Diaz. That's Saturday, January 13th, also at 10 p.m. Eastern and Pacific. Now coming up next from right here in Sheffield, England, our main event. It's the WBO Super Middleweight Championship. Local products, Joe Calzaghe and Richie Woodall, in one of England's most anticipated showdowns in years. Each receives enormous support and encouragement here in Great Britain. Tonight, they meet each other. Joe Calzaghe and Richie Woodall. They are brought together tonight by a lifetime of shared experiences. Two hugely popular area fighters who highly respect and admire each other must forget that they are friends when the bell goes. Too much money at stake. The cruel irony, it's a fight neither can afford to lose. A win could be Calzaghe's ticket to world recognition as Roy Jones looms in the future. The stakes are higher for the underdog Woodall. A loss could mean the end of his career. Calzaghe-Woodall, a test of friendship as well as courage and skill. Well, that first fight was so short, we're going to take another look, Bobby Ches.
There was not a lot to be said, Steve.
It was short and sweet, and very much in favor of the man in the white trunks, Acelino Freitas.
You know, I thought Alicea should actually box him a little more, work him from the outside, try and stuff the jab like he was doing, keep him off with the jab, but not come into him as much as he did. And right off the bat, he came in swinging a big left hook, trying to get his pound of flesh, which I do understand, but sometimes there are better ways of getting it than the way he did.
Perhaps he figured in his mind it was just about the only way to pull off an upset, to try to catch the champion by surprise. This is a non-title affair. It was scheduled for 12. But it didn't go very long, as you will soon see. Keep an eye on the explosive right hand of the Brazilian in white, Acelino Freitas. It's coming right up.
Now watch when he gets up, Steve. See, he's a little wobbly, he's a little trippy, and he leans into the ropes as if the ropes are what's holding him up. That's not good for a referee by perception.
Do you think that Mickey Van stopped it prematurely?
I think it was a little quick. I think it was a matter of another 30 seconds to a minute, but I think it was a little quick. I think he should have said, step back. The referee should have stepped back and said, walk to me. And if he walked with his hands up and okay, because he was okay to throw a fit afterwards, so I think he should have been able to give a couple more minutes in there.
Bobby, interestingly, Daniel Alicea, a late replacement for a fighter named Lewis Wood on 2 weeks' notice. Mickey Van, a last-minute replacement for referee Paul Thomas. So we wonder, had a different individual been the third man in the ring, how he might have seen things.
I really don't think it was a big difference in the way the fight would have turned out. I don't think that Alicea would have lasted the round. He was still a little glassy-eyed. You could see it. He got his feet under him. He seemed relatively okay, but the power of the Freitas comes with the determination, the aggressiveness, the number of punches he throws. I don't think he gets to last another minute and a half.
And also, a lot of people may have thought it was just academic and just a matter of time for the undefeated Mr. Perfect, Acelino Freitas. Before we get to our main event, we're joined by the victorious Acelino Freitas of Brazil, who just picked up his 11th first-round knockout with the help of our translator, Marcus Maldonado. And Marcus, if you can ask Acelino, what took him so long?
¿Por qué duraste tanto para noquear?
Porque ele corriste pouco, mas el knockout é consequência da pelea. Quando a mão pega, é knockout.
I came out looking for a knockout. The knockout was just a consequence of this fight.
He has to learn to extend the fight about 2, 3, 4 rounds so we could talk about him and say good things about him.
Tienes que aprender a que la pelea dure 2, 3, 4 rounds para que la gente hable bien de ti.
Não, se eu espero 3, 4 rounds, pode acontecer comigo, não vou perder surpresa. Eu mostrei para todos que eu peleio 7 rounds, 8 rounds, 9 rounds, então você não tem isso.
I feel if the fight were to go 3 or 4 rounds, you know, I'm also in danger. This is why I like to take out my opponent early.
Was Acelino looking to make a big statement here tonight in light of the fact that he was extended into the 9th round by a relative unknown but a rugged fighter in his last fight?
¿Estabas buscando hacer un gran espectáculo aquí?
Sí, sempre. Eu luto primeiro para minha pessoa, depois o público que gosta de boxe, gosta de ver o nocaute em boxeo, é a mesma coisa de longo no futebol.
Said first, I like to take care of my opponent, and it just so happens that the fans like it, and everyone appreciates how I'm able to take out my opponents.
Now, he made the long trip all the way here to England with the intent to defend his world title, but he found out, like we all did just yesterday, that it was a non-title fight. I mean, we were disappointed. How did he feel about that?
Viajaste hasta Inglaterra para defender el campeonato. ¿Cómo te sentiste cuando supiste esta pelea no era de campeonato?
Eu sempre estou treinado para pelear. Isto é consequência de peleador. Infelizmente, em pelea, nós outros estaremos esperando tudo.
He said, I just want to fight. Whether I defend my title or not, I like fighting. I love to fight. And it was sad that I didn't get to defend my title, but that's just...
Para minha pessoa, foi como se fosse uma peleia de título mundial, porque todas é sério, forte.
He said, but every fight for me is extremely serious.
Well, Diego Corrales is scheduled to fight Floyd Mayweather. Does that mean that he would like to step up and fight somebody like Joel Casamayor? That is after if Casamayor gets by Roberto Garcia.
Diego Corrales va a pelear con Mayweather. Eso quiere decir que tú estás buscando a Joel Casamayor o otro nombre grande en tu peso.
Mira, eu estou treinando para qualquer peleador que venha pelear comigo. Eu dependo de Focina de Ideias, Maldonado e Frank Orr para qualquer que eles queiram que eu peleio e liquido todos.
He said, whoever Ricardo Maldonado puts in front of me, I'll be more than happy to liquidate them.
Okay, Marcus, if I can just borrow that microphone for a second so I can chat with promoter Frank Warren about the future of Acelino Freitas. And Frank, nice of you to join us as well. We talked about the possibility of fighting Casamayor down the road. How about A guy from right here in Sheffield, England, Prince Nassim Hamed. Is that a likelihood?
Well, he left town when Acelino came here. As you know, we offered Nassim $6 million to fight Mr. Freitas, but he refused to fight. They said they weren't interested.
Why do you think? Because Acelino's too big for him, too strong, or what?
Well, Nas normally fights guys who are super bantamweights. His next fight, he's fighting Barrera, and Barrera's a super bantamweight. All we're asking him to do is to come up to super featherweight and fight at super featherweight. You know, good fighters, great fighters do that. Recently, Shane Mosley went up a weight to fight Oscar De La Hoya. Nas says he wants to be a legend and come and fight the guy with the only perfect record in the world at the moment, who is 28-0.
Obviously, it's time for Mr. Freitas to really step up. Would you like to see him obviously unify the title? We talked about Corrales and Mayweather in an upcoming scheduled fight, but what about Casamayor if Casamayor beats Garcia?
I was speaking with Ricardo Maldonado today, the manager, and we were discussing that fight, and he said to me, make the fight. He said, I want the fight now, make the fight. And that's what we want to do. That's the fight I think the fans want to see. It's two extremely talented and good fighters, and that's what the fans want. That's what we want to deliver.
All right, Frank, thank you very much.
Thank you.
And Acelino, thank you very much, and best of luck to you in the future. Marcus, thanks for helping us out. All right, that's it. Acelino Freitas in explosive fashion, able to knock out Daniel Alicea, 101 of the first round. Well, we are one down, one to go. Tonight we're coming to you from the Steel City of Sheffield, England, the site for the hit movie, The Full Monty. In fact, this card has been dubbed locally as The Full Monty 2. Perhaps it is only fitting since tonight's event could expose a fighter more than any striptease. As tonight, we come to you from the Steel City of Sheffield, England.